Yeah, that's impressive.
So family vlogging, when I was looking into it, the Shaytards were the first family vlogging channel that like was big. I'm sure somebody did it before them, and sorry for whoever that is. But I watched them, and their kids were my age when I was watching it.
And that's young.
Yeah.
Like, they start really young.
And they grow up on television.
Yeah, they basically just
camera.
like grow like that's like their normal for them. It's just like taking the camera.
And it was kind of the same thing with 8 Passengers and this family, where it's a religious thing in a way, because documenting your life is a huge part of the Mormon church, and Shaytards were Mormon too, right?
I believe
so.
They're from
I think
Idaho.
so.
Honestly, like, I'm pretty sure like most like family vlogging channels, they're all Mormon.
Yeah. And I will say, like, when watching the Shaytards, it seemed way less intrusive than 8 Passengers was. But recently I listened to a podcast where the older girls from Shaytards were talking about it. And they said at times, like, they wished that wasn't their life. But now they're thankful that they can look back.
That's so sad.
I know. I maybe it's different when you do it, but
She's probably going to live with that trauma for the rest of her life.
Well,
I
like,
mean,
absolutely.
it's not a normal childhood.
No, like, I can't imagine how that feels. Like, looking back at like things that I did like in my teen years and like things like that, like that's like when you mess up and like you're figuring out who you are, and like being on a family vlogging channel, like you're in no like headspace as a child to like agree to that.
yeah.
It's like super invasive, especially because it's like a family vlogging, like it's like your life.
Yeah.
And then it also becomes your job. So like you're obligated to do it. Like you have to for money.
Right.
There's this one video that's really awful. His mom's talking about something and trying to get him to look excited, and she says, just be yourself. And he's like, I am being myself. And she said, then change it, and like yells at him. And like, it's just so insane. And Kevin always says like he never knew the extent of the issues, but
You had to see it a little bit.
You sent your kid to a wilderness
Sherry
therapy
talked about
program.
how Chad would get like beat.
And they cleaned up blood off the wall.
Yeah.
He was 14 years old when he was sent in Arizona in the middle of the desert. No clothing, no way to do anything. He had to learn how to survive. I know I have friends that were sent there for years, and they're still getting the help they need because of the abuse that they suffered, especially in places like Arizona and
it's
Utah.
crazy.
It's wild. Like a growth experience. No, you're abusing your kid. You're sending them for other people to abuse, train them, and then sending them back to you.
And she starts talking about how she's close or almost graduated college at this point. Yeah. And she's proposing bills to the Utah.
Yeah.
Good.
The Utah
Standing
officials.
up against it because she knows it's all around her.
The Utah legislators advanced a bill protecting child performers and social media stars. So it's not banning it entirely.
And I think each of the kids wrote a letter.
Yeah. So the bill, it's House Bill 322 for anybody who cares. It requires parents of child performers to deposit 15% of child's income into a trust. So this doesn't protect the children from being exploited. It protects the children from getting paid to be exploited.
Right.
So obviously not like fully solved, but it's definitely a step in the right direction for such a conservative state to acknowledge that something like that needed to change. There needs to be, this all sprouts from an issue of making sure that you are hiring people for your children who are good for your children.
Yeah.
Because all of this really terrible stuff started from hiring Jody.
If you're going to hire a therapist, make sure that they're licensed.
Hire a real one.
Let's leave
They're
it at
licensed
that.
and not trying to seek help within
Look
the
at her
family.
license. Do some research before you hire.
Absolutely.
And ultimately, it comes back to the same thing as our Nickelodeon episode, but there needs to be more protection.
The kids.
Yeah.
And
Protect
people need
the
to
kids
have
at all
some
costs.
discernment and some,
And again, like consciousness as a viewer. Like the reason all this came to light was people saying, "Oh, girl, no, that's not okay."
Thanks.
Watch that
So-
documentary.
Yeah, watch
It's a good one, and read her book.
Read her book.
seriously.
Read her book.
on Audible.
Next time, we will discuss the powerful men in Hollywood, including Diddy and Harvey Weinstein. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and join us next time for another episode of Air It Out.